Hello YouTube, and welcome to my Premier League predictions for this season. Let's get into it. So what I'm going to be doing is going to be predicting where the teams finish at league table. I decided to wait until everybody played once, which means I have to wait to game day 2 to see Man U and Man City and how they prepared for this season. I decided to make my predictions using the team's current roster, the team's form at the end of last season, and how the teams played in the first few games, just to have an idea of what the managers and what the teams are bringing into the season. I decided to split up the teams into 4 different categories. There's the relegation battle, there's the mid-table teams, there's the battle for Europa League, and then there's the top teams for the Champions League battle. Alright, so I decided to pick 5 teams for the relegation battle. These 5 teams, the defense were not convincing, the midfield's all over the place, and the attack can get work on. This is the Premier League and all the teams are top level teams, but these teams I just feel like they're a little bit under par than the rest of them. It's easy to pick teams that just came up, and I'm going to pick 2 of those teams. The first one is going to be Fulham, which I think they're just going to finish that last in this season. There's a pattern that teams that come to the playoff of the championship just don't do well, and Sun play, and they just seem like the weakest side for this season. The other 2 teams that came up are West Brom and Leeds, and I believe both of them have a really good attacking style. But West Brom, the defense seems really weak, and there's too many holes in there, and I can see them having a lot of difficulty throughout this whole entire term. So I decided to pick them to be 19th this season. My next 2 picks are going to be teams that did not do well last season, which is West Ham United and Aston Villa. I believe Aston Villa is going to finish 18th spot. I can't see them surviving this term, even though they brought in 2 new attackers and be right next to Grealish. I just can't see that being enough for them to survive this season. Next I'm going to pick is West Ham United. Last season they were able to clutch some points against Man U, Chelsea and Aston Villa. They were very important for them to survive. And I think they're going to survive again this term, 17th, but barely, and wouldn't be surprised seeing them going down again. The 5th and the last team I'm going to pick for the relegation battle is actually going to be Sheffield United. I know last season they had an amazing season, and that manager was able to get them to a place that they would have dreamed to be on. I can't see them replicating it, and looking at the first 2 games of this season, the defense seems really shaky, the manager's tactics seem to be found out, and I can definitely see them battling to survive this season. Completely different season than what they had last year. Alright, let's move to the mid-table teams. These are 6 teams that I believe they can give anybody a match, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to anybody either. These are teams that are solid, have a good manager, have a good roster, but they're not the best, but they're not the worst. They're just there. In 50th spot, I have Newcastle. They're not my favorite team to watch, but I do believe they have a solid, pragmatic way of playing that can give anybody a good match. I also believe that the 2 Bournemouth players that they brought in with Callum Wilson and Fraser really add on depth to their squad, and I do think they'll do better than getting relegated, but just enough. In 14th, I have Southampton. Southampton is a team that I can definitely see them being relegated, but I do like that they transferred this season new defenders to add on to the back line. The first 2 matches did not show a good sign of them, and I saw a lot of weakness to the whole, but I do believe that throughout the season they'll shape up and become better, and I just think they're going to be doing enough to survive this term and land 14th in the league this season. So our next 3 teams I'm going to pick are just teams that I believe they have a solid team. They have some weaknesses, but enough to confidently finish mid-table, and those are Burnley, Brighton and Crystal Palace. I feel like Crystal Palace can actually fight for Europa League, but they just have a little bit of holes, and they play a lot of the counter-attack with Zaha, and I just believe mid-table is good enough for them. In 10th spot, I actually ended up picking Leeds United. This is a surprise for a new championship team to adapt to the Premier League so well. The attacking side that they have in this manager is just crazy. I'm excited to see how they do this season, and I believe 10th will be a successful season for them. Right, so the next 4 teams I'm going to be picking are teams that are going to be fighting for the last Europa League spots. I do believe these teams are really good, but they're just missing a little bit to be top teams this season. In 9th spot, I actually pick Wolves. I think they can do really well this season, but the other teams are just really strong. This manager is just trying to buy all of Portugal's team, and it seems like it's working. It's crazy what they were able to do the second half against Man City, and if they keep that up to the whole season, I can see them doing really well this season. In 8th spot, I actually have Leicester City. I know it's a surprise because they're so good last season, but that form that after COVID was just killer. And I do believe that's going to be sticking with them to this season. I know the first 2 games were actually really strong, and they could, if they keep this up, they could be fighting for Champions League spot. But I can just see them not doing well this season and just staying into 8th spot. In 7th spot, I have Arsenal. Arsenal, I think, was really smart in getting William. I feel like he added a lot into the attacking, especially seen in the first game. And I do think they're going to do well. I just believe the defense is going to let them down yet again. And the depth-wise, I just feel there's a lot of youth, and I don't think they're there yet. I do believe that in the next few seasons they're going to be battering, but this season I'm just going to give them 7th. In 6th spot, I actually have Everton. I know it's very surprised with a huge jump from last season, but I believe that the addition of James Rodriguez, Decore, and Allen just bring them to another level. This would not be able to be done without Ancelotti, and I feel like this is now connecting the puzzle of a great team. And I think they're going to do well enough and going to be a little bit more consistent than Arsenal this season and come into 6th spot. The remaining 5 teams, I believe they're the best of this league, and I do see them pushing this league to the better. I do believe that these are the teams to watch for every single week to see if they can mess up or if they can conquer the league and win it. In 5th spot, I actually have Tottenham. I used to like Tottenham, seeing them play under Pochettino, but what Mourinho has done to them is not the direction I would want them to see as fair. But I can't see their methods working and being able to get top 4. I would have definitely not picked them this high up if it wasn't for the addition of Gareth Bale. I do believe this is going to be like a James effect on Everton and going to be pushing Tottenham to the next level, and hopefully they'll be Champions League spot. Hopefully they'll bring more entertainment to watching them play because they're not the most fun to watch. And I do think Gareth Bale can bring that if he plays well. But if not, I can definitely see them barely missing Champions League spot and getting 5th. I can even see them getting lower like last season. But I'm giving hope that this will be a Mourinho season, and bring them up. Alright, now we're getting to the Champions League spots. I think in 4th place, barely making it, is Manchester United. I really like the addition of Fernandes. It's something that like any team would love to have, a midfielder that controls the game and perfectly fit as well as he did. It's just a dream for Man United. I do believe they have a very solid squad. Depth-wise, they're not the strongest. But I do think the attacking line of Greenwood, Rashford and Martial have experience enough for them to do well this season. With Fernandes, McTominay and Pogba in the middle, with backup of Matic and Fred, I can definitely see Man United doing really well. As long as Lindelof does not do mistakes like he did in his first game, I can see them doing well and finish 4th spot ahead of Tottenham. In 3rd spot, I have Chelsea. I feel like they're in a league all by themselves. They're much better than everybody below them, but they're not as good as Man City or Liverpool yet. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they can compete against us too and actually win the season. I wouldn't be surprised. The additions they brought in are crazy, with Werner and Havertz proving what they can do in the Bundesliga, and with Thiago Silva in the back holding like a mature captain-minded, holding the defense down. This is gonna be a crazy season for them. I just hope Lampard is good enough to bring them all the way to the top. Very excited to see them, and I can definitely see them get a solid 3rd. And now I'm down to the last 2 teams, which is Liverpool and Man City. I hope we can have a repeat of 2 seasons ago and just go into it to the last day. And I'm very excited to see what these 2 teams can bring. Alright, so who do I have winning? I'll tell you the truth, I really hope Man City wins it. But the first game display again showed weaknesses in defense that like any team could actually beat them in a good day. It's just crazy to see how like they haven't been able to replace Company, and that defense needs a leader. I can't see them winning again this season, but I really hope it'll be the same as 2 seasons ago that goes to the last day. And I really hope Man City wins, but I have to give it to Liverpool. I think Liverpool are really consistent, are really good. I do think Man City had a disadvantage last year with Laporte getting injured early, and it's something that Liverpool didn't have to handle so much. They had a couple injuries in there, but then I feel like most of the players really were fit throughout the whole entire season. But the addition of Thiago is crazy. Seeing him play the second half, just how he controls the tempo, and that's barely knowing the team. It's a really good buy, and I can definitely see Liverpool raising that cup again and showing how dominant they are this term. It's just going to be a repetition of last year and them winning again. But I really do hope Man City gives them a fight. And so this was my Premier League predictions for this season. I hope you like it. Please subscribe if you do. This is my first video, and tell me any advice to make these videos better. And yeah, I'm excited to go to this YouTube journey with you guys, and hopefully just tell me what you guys want to watch next. Thanks for watching.